Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Rob the Builder. Indeed, there are 3 viewers who are well aware of this fact. Hey Brian, David, and Bassman, how you doing? For everybody else, yes, I am indeed he, Rob the Builder. And can I build it? Yes, I can. Now, today we are looking at our tidy ups on the BF 109. Hey, yes we are. Yes, we are. That pretty much covers it. Yes, it does. Yes. Alrighty, and around we come. Now, there's a lot to look at, really. So, first things first, as always. In the words of the late, great William Shakespeare. Oh, fuck yeah. Now, bring that around. A bit of focus, perhaps. There we go. Now, let's have a look. We've got a bit of glue burn there. That's an easy fix. Just having a look at the paintwork, guys. Actually, wow. The only bits that are really problematic, potentially. Oh, nice one, Rob. Yeah, that is how it is supposed to roll. Give me a moment here. I'll give you a zoom in so you can see yourself. Wow. I'm actually going to get the goggles on, have a bit of a tighter look, just for my own edification. But go you, Robster. So it's obviously going to be right anyway. And we come here. Yeah. Nice one. I'll show you. Now, this is one of those moments where you're going to see exactly what I mean by the color differential being pretty negligible. So why the hell they even bothered? You tell me. But be that as it may, let me just turn the aircon on. I'm starting to get toasty now. Toasty. Now, so you can see we've managed to get that to align pretty nicely. On this side, we've got a bit of glue burn action, but that comes down to, that's the Dunkelglue, and that comes down, we're going to need to tidy up here anyway, but it's supposed to be a thin straight line pretty much, which we'll do there, and then it's supposed to indeed come down just so. So the thing we can be pretty chipper about is that our actual whatchamacallit, the geometry of what we've done is there. This is a good outcome in my eyes. Things we can also look at, tidying this up a little. Bit of crystal clear there. Blip, blip. Yeah. Oh, you can't see what I was pointing to. Zoom out. Yeah, so what we'll probably also get round to at some juncture, I expect we'll be spending another 2 sessions on this. That is my expectation. Now, maybe more, might be 3, and then we'll get onto the car again. But yeah, here we'll need to do a bit of fill in that gap. A bit of crystal clear there. tidy that up. Okay, but in the meantime, most of this is very good, and I'm pretty chipper. So what I'm thinking we can do, in light of wanting to do that little tidy up, and further, the tidy ups we need to do on, here's where it might get a little tricksy with our colours, in that they're going to overlap there, so we can't do them together, but we can do all the other stuff. I think what we will go with is a bit of Schwarzglun, and I will define the area that we wish to be Schwarzglun. With a bit of tape, as far as up here goes, and the rest we will just do by hand, because it's stuff like actually no, maybe I will get a bit anal about some of it. Here less so, obviously that's just handwork. Actually that's not even Schwarzglun, that's Dunkelglun. You get the idea. Now, alright. Alright. Zoom out a bit. Now I'd be thinking that probably thin tape is the way to roll as our definer. And we don't need a lot of it per thingy. Per thingy. There's a word for you. Per thingy. Tape. Tape, 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 ba, ba, da, ba. Tape, 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 ba, ba. Tape my plane up. Tape my plane up. Yeah, it's a bit sad, that one. Here we go. No, I do for these ones. All right. Now, excuse me a moment. All righty. Now, oh, come here, you. I ask you, where's the love, eh? Oh, stubborn one. There we are. Now, we're going there. Jesus. The two greens are actually similar enough that I'm going to require, believe it or not, my goggles to get a good, solid, clear definition on this, or I'm going to look like a yutz. Not me personally, obviously, but there we are. There we go. Yeah. They can go there. there. Now, and right. Might just move that a bit more to there, I reckon. So what I'm trying to do here is just make sure I define where I want to paint. So if I get a little clumsy with the brush, it ain't gonna matter. So I want to go right. What I'm already going to be seeing is my hand. Sorry, guys. There we are. There we are. Now, I can probably put this to use. Turn around that way. Now, yep, all good. You saw. Okay. Just. Right. Let me just. I may have just marked unnecessarily. Hang on a moment. Okay. Of course, yes, that's correct. So, yeah. I see. So really, that should go more. I see what's going on here. Not quite there. Oh, yeah, because what I've done is I've masked correctly, but it doesn't look correct temporarily because, of course, there's a bit missing at the top there that defines something very important. Now, give me a moment to get this back into Posy. Now, that gets up to, and this comes out this way. I think they've met correctly. Hang on. This is a bit more tricksy than I thought. Right, so to do that correctly, right. Dearie me. This is actually, like I said, this is actually proving to be a little more tricksy than I thought. So if I go here, as I should, right, and across, come here. There's our issue. Tweezers are what I'll require here. And these tweezers, I've worked it all out, kids. It's all good. Yeah, okay, yeah, all good. Got it understood now. You come here. So we're going to go. There we are. Yes, correct. Right. Oh, except for the fact that I've done a that way is how I should do it. Yes. Maybe. Or it wouldn't need to be. It would need to be that way more. So if I'm doing Schwarzglun, we go there. Do we? I shouldn't be agonizing over this. This should be simple. I'm just leaving it. I'm doing my own head in for no good reason. Okay, now. Now, while I'm at it, what I may as well do, give the Schwarzglun a bit of a shake. So I don't have to spend forever mixing it when we are ready. Now, this one, we want to be going. Oh, actually, that's more. Yeah, so. There it is. Right, yeah, there's a touch of Schwarzglun there that needs to be done. That's all Dunkelglun. Okay. Yeah. All right. And that's all Dunkelglun. Okay, what I'll also do, give this an Dunkelglen. Give them both a shake. We'll get most of this done, apart from a little bit around the cockpit. We'll get our upper area up to speed. We'll also do some tidying up on the tail fins. That one's all good. We'll also do some work on these just because they need to. Now, these are all good, at least at that point. I'll grab this. Right. Yep, I remember now. Okay. Mix these paints up. That would be the Schwarzgrün, yeah. Now, goggles off. Let us. Now, I don't need to be too. What's the word I'm looking for? Particular with the size of brush I use, so I shan't be. Come here, come on, open up. You know, one. There we go. Now, I might want to get these things out of the way as I. That should be plenty. Now then. Alrighty. Alrighty. So. We'll go with this one, I reckon. Dealy. It's a dirty story about a dirty man. He's got a job and his wife and son, they don't understand. He's got a job at the Daily Mail, but he wants to be a paperback writer. When I checked out the lyrics to that song, some of them were gold. I've got a book. It's 1,000 words, give or take a few. If you like the style, you can write some more. And I want to be a paperback writer. So we're almost done on the tidy ups here. Now, a lot of the Dunkelglun around the cockpit or the Dunkelglun around the cockpit will have to wait, basically, because I missed a bit of taping there. I should have done. Oh no, I didn't. It's all good. Being adjacent to the Schwarzglun, I don't want to run the risk of mixing them up. And yada 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 yada. It won't be a big thing that will slow us down in any meaningful way. So you know. All right. Ah, there you go, Bassman. All right. Now, paperback writer. I need to get back onto my paperback writing a bit later today. I shall. I have only to attend to a few things today. I have also got a Latin lecture. My Latin lecturer gave me some pretty big raps yesterday, actually, as a student. I'm pretty stoked with it, actually. He said I had a pretty natural affinity for languages. As such, I was a student he did not wish to lose. And when your teacher says that shit to you, man, you got to be happy. Well, you don't have to be. I choose to be. Now, there. And a few little spots here. There. Leave that light there. If there's a light there that I need to do. All right. Well, that's already got it looking a lot more complete, hasn't it? Funny that. All right. Alrighty. Sweet. Now, a couple of other bits here very quickly. Just into, well, no, they're actually Dunkelglun. Bit of Schwarzglun, however, can go. Oh, no, that's all good. That's all Dunkelglun. We can now clean the, no, we cannot clean the brush yet. Patience, grasshopper. Here we go. What about here? Dunkelglun. It's only the Dunkelglun that really got affected by the tape removal. Okay. Of course it would be, because I didn't have to. Yeah. Anyway, clean brush. Then, oh hey Poncho, how you doing? Now, what I'll do next is some Dunkelglun. There's a bit of that to be done. Now, once that's done, I think our next port of call will be probably to put some chassis black on the interior of, or would it be chassis black? Actually, no, it probably wouldn't. It'd probably be German grey. I'll show you what I'm waffling about in due course, but at the moment, what I'm more interested in is getting the Dunkelglun on. Well, hey Ronald, how are you doing? Yep, chilling out's always a good outcome. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Chilling, relaxing, it ain't too taxing. Pardon me. Now, deedly, mouthful of coffee time, I say. Now, Dunkelglun. Give it a bit more of a shake. Make sure it's properly mixed. Now, make sure that focuses a bit better. Maybe bring this a bit more central. So it's starting to look like, well, dare I suggest it, a Bf 109. Who would have thought, eh? And a little bit more, I think. Then what we'll do, actually, here's a bit of a plan. All right, Dunkelglun. I'm thinking, because I'm going to have, these are our engine cowlings, and I want to have them up. Now, the inside, if it was a car cowling, I would be doing the same color as the outside, but of course that changes there, so you're not going to have multiple colors on the inside of your cowling. I'm thinking German grey. There wouldn't be a firewall there. The firewall would be, careful there, Rob. What are you doing, boy? Oh, I'm missing my paintwork. That's what I was doing there. Got away with that, thankfully. Like so. But around the edge, I'll be doing Dunkelglun. Now, on these, however, on the inside, I'm thinking German grey, because typically around the edges of these sorts of things and on the inside you get the interior colour on a lot of aircraft. So that's what I'll do there. So we'll do that. And then what I would like to do is see what we can do about finding some guns. Actually, I'll put some chassis. I've put the remaining chassis black that needs to go on the engine on, because there's a little bit of touch-up work there that needs to happen. And then what we'll do is see if we can find some. I'm going to go to my big bag of bits, and it's a big bag. We're going to see about finding some guns for our 109. Yeah, so that we can put them on at the appropriate juncture. Give me a moment. Grab that one. I'm not sure which one. There's a green one there, but there's a couple of green ones there. I'm not sure which one I used last. I couldn't be bothered going through the rumble of finding it, so I'm just going to use a freshie. Oh, hey, Big Racer, how are you doing? Yeah, no worries. I totally get that, Poncho. Now, why is this file out? What goes on with that, Rob? What are you doing, boy? In this instance, we can go for maybe the Citadel would be a good option. Citadel, come to Papa. Now, where's a really good spot to grip this? Let me just. Actually, probably here's as good a spot as I'm going to get. All right. Now, I can. Oh, I missed a whole chunk of Schwarzglue I should be doing. Never mind. Can fix. And you know what? I feel brave enough to go one type of paint next to the other. So why the hell won't I now? Get our light right in our eyes. And it's just there we go. Whoops. Bring ice cream. Wonder what Poncho's cooking. I have to ask him. He may still be in the kitchen doing his thing. Diddly. there. A few little spots here. Don't know quite what's going on there, but never mind. It's addressed. Yes. Now. Whoop. All right, almost there with that one. And this is as a aircraft not going to require much extensive weathering. The reason I say that is because it wouldn't have seen combat. Oh, it might actually no. Judging by the insignia, no, it would not have. So it wouldn't have a lot of the grime of having flown through smoky stuff and the like. It'll just be basic engine grime, and even that won't be so heavy because it wouldn't be continual mission flying. It'd just be more routine stuff. The crew would have more time to clean it and all the rest. So I haven't yet. Now, one thing I actually wait a moment. Let me wait till I finish this. I'll show you. One thing I will show you, because aside from all the kits that I'm building and those that are in my stash, like everybody, I do have some kits that I've started and should really get back onto. Now, one of them, in fact, two of them, feature some figures that one of which I will happily actually have pretty quickly on hand, and another one that I'll show you. I have to get up to get that one out. I'm trying to think where it is right now. I might not be able to get that one out right now, but I can certainly show you the other one. Now we're going down here. There we are. And down here. All right, now that is, yes. All right. Now, just this front area to do on the main fuselage. Then she's really starting to come together. Whoop. Now, let me just finish the Dunkelglun Bassman, and then I'll show you that figure I was telling you about. Because like I said, it's pretty much on hand. So, and the one I'm showing you isn't quite finished with the detailing. But it's pretty close. And it's from a 1:48 staghound I was given. I've actually done some not bad work on the staghound in question. The kid is actually in a box in my main stash at the moment. And I think that's where my other figure is as well. Because my car's in the garage at the moment. I would need to get the car out to be able to get the Tiger tank out that has the other figure in it, which is an SS officer. But the one I'm going to show you from the staghound is a Canadian guy from the Dragoons. I think it's 12th Manitoba Dragoons, to be more precise, because that's the insignia that it came with. Yeah. I must say, because the figures I was actually, and I also do have a Viking, now that I think about it. I don't know if have you seen my Viking? If not, I'll try that out for a bit of a visual as well. I love 109s. When a problem comes along, you must whip it. When a model comes along, you must paint it. Get your color scheme right on. You will paint it. My Dunkelglund is on. I do like it. Oh dear, hey guys. Oh dear. Alrighty. There's almost our Dunkelglund completed. Almost. Now, just around the edges there. I did. And look, as an Ozzy Osbourne fan, and I'm a big Aussie fan, yeah. Although I gotta say, when I saw footage of him at his last concert a couple of weeks ago, I knew the man wasn't long for the world. And given the amount of drugs and alcohol he has put through his system, or he did put through his system, it's a bloody miracle he lived as long as he did. Now, as I've pointed out to numerous people, all this shows is that, in fact, he was human like the rest of us, unlike Keith Richards, who was clearly a major form of undead. But yeah, it did. Happens to everyone. Apart from Keith Richards. We're on to him, man. Oh. Now, but yeah, Ozzy. I got into Ozzy Osbourne because of, believe there's a bit of a tale to it. Even the first Ozzy Osbourne song I heard was Mr. Crowley, but not done by him. A cover done by Malmsteen with Dio, and indeed Rob Halford. And look, I thought it was great at the time, but it did make me curious as to, well, what's the original like? And then I checked it out with Randy and Ozzy. And straight away, one of the things that really struck me that made the version that I had known look pretty much second rate in my eyes was that Malmsteen's a great guitarist, don't get me wrong. He really is. There's no denying that. The man's technique's to die for. But he wants everybody to know that. And he's so busy showing off, he plays over the vocal. And Dio was a great vocalist. And he also went, that's okay, I'm doing touch-ups there anyway. I realised there's got some on the bottom there, that doesn't matter. But he wanted everybody to know that as well. And he's singing over the top of the guitar. So it just gets a bit muddy, in my opinion. No, this is a very subjective opinion because, of course, we're talking about music here. But yeah, and that got me into, Randy. That's all I'm saying, Randy. And while I was becoming a big fan of his guitar work, I read an article. It was actually, I'd hit Google, and you know how you get like news articles coming up with you when you hit the Google browser? At least I do. Assume you guys do. One of them was part of an interview with Bob Daisley, who had been the bass player for a lot of the time when Randy was doing the guitar work for Ozzy. And the story runs pretty much after he had been voted Guitar Magazine's, I think it was Best New Guitarist is what he got. And he didn't believe that he had won it when he first got it. He thought everybody was just joking with him. But when he got that, apparently every town they went to on tour, he would be hitting the phone book looking for a guitar teacher to make himself better, because he wanted to really honor the fact that he'd been voted to that, gotten that award. He wanted to make sure that was not undeserved and that he was up to the standards. And I thought to myself, there is undeniably something there in that mentality to be learnt and modelled on. If you want to be good at something, and there are ways you can be better at something, why the hell aren't you? And that inspired me to take up bass lessons. Most people thought I was a pretty good bass player. These days I view myself as a very ordinary bass player. I'm getting there. I know I can do some. My teacher thinks I learn very easily. Apparently I'm very easy to teach when it comes to music. So yeah, but it's a thing of all that inspiration came from Ozzy and Randy. Now other guitarists I like hearing. I also have a lot of respect for Tony Iommi because, of course, he lost his fingers, had to make prosthetics, teach himself how to play again, and look where he's gotten himself to. So there's another, yeah. There's a lot of the accordion. So to me, there's a lot of inspiration to be found in a lot of the tales around Ozzy, not just he himself, but yeah, when you look at indeed Tony Iommi, that's a remarkable achievement for a man. Loses fingers and still becomes a world-class guitarist. That's something to be respected in my eyes, you know? Yeah. All right. Now, clean brush. Now then, with that being the Dunkelglun completed, give me a moment. Now, with reference to painting soldiers, Ronald, give me a moment. Rinse. Let's just plug this up. Well, that's starting to look a bit pretty, isn't it? Tell you one thing I've noticed I'm a bit about this little area under here. I'm going to have to very carefully paint under the engine there. Oh, it's going to look a bit odd. But hey, should have thought about that first. We'll get that covered. Now, the other colour is what colour do I want to go with that? Probably chassis black. Anyway, now, give me a moment. Here we go. Right. Actually, one. Might as well as. Now then. What should I put it on? I'll just hold it, be damned. Here. That's 1:48 officer for the stag hound that I have. It's a bit blurry. There we go. Actually, I don't know. There we go. And here is a while I'm here, this is actually just a spare pilot I have. 1:72. So yeah, I sort of do. Now, like I said, I do have that a Viking figure, which I've got started. I've got quite a bit done on it, in fact. So I can show you that if you want. But yeah, there we go. Now, chassis black, eh? Yeah, well, sure. Hang on. I'm gonna, having mentioned it, I should show you, really, shouldn't I? Give me a moment. Zoom out a bit. Get a mouthful of coffee. Oh yeah. Up. Now then. Mentioning Aussie, I almost broke into a bit of Aussie just then. Not that's particularly relevant to Vikings or anything like that. I don't think he actually has any songs that are particularly relevant to Vikings. He's well a stretch. Oh, excuse me for a moment. I almost said a. Oh no, that's okay. Yeah. I thought I had a bit of an issue there, but no, I don't. The song was about to start off because I go through phases as to which is my favourite Aussie song. One of them, my faves at the moment, is "Diary of a Madman." Screaming at the windows, watch me die another day. Hopeless situation, endless price I have to pay. Now, sanity, now it's beyond me. There's no choice. This is the one I have. The ICM 1:16. Now, what I've got done on it, excuse me, I have to do a bit of zoom in here. Or things I have done on it. All right, we've got a start on the shield. Hang on. Need a piece of paper to put behind so you can see the shit I've done. So we've got to start on our shield. Boom. Just giving it the wooden pre-coat. Start on the leather armor. We've got the leather, that's the jerkin. Bag needs a slight touch up because that's the whale tooth that's holding it there. I got a little carried away. It needs to be slightly tighter with a bit more brown. So there's them. We have, I'm giving him a sword. So, which I know is actually less common amongst Vikings, but you know. Bing. And that's done. There's a bit more of the hauberk. Boom. Or is that the jerkin? I lose track of these things. But yeah, there's the back part. The helm is here somewhere. Give me a moment. Here we go. This is the back part of the helm. Give me a moment. Hang on. Oh, for God's sake, boy. There it is. No, it isn't. That's my thumb. There it is. So that's the back part of the helmet. Here's the front part of the helmet. They had very good metallurgy as far as it goes. Here we go. And there's the front. So yeah. Where I'm at the moment is having completed the jerkin. I'm in the process of setting up so that I can get the patterns on. This is alright. There's still a lot of work to be done on this before I can start getting the runes onto that. Let's see if there's one that I've done a more or a better job of that I can show you. Give me a moment. There is one. If I look around in here somewhere. I think that might have come up a bit better and give you a better idea as to what I'm trying to achieve. But let's see if it has. Yeah, there we go. They're not perfect. They're a bit rumpty down here, and that can still use a bit of tidy up. But the other side here is a bit better. So yeah. So there you go. There's I sort of do soldiers on occasion, as it were. And in that context, and this is a bit of a side project. What I'm mostly focused on at the moment is Mustang aircraft, finishing the Mustang car I have, and indeed the other one, and 109s. Now, once I've got the cars done, or once I've gotten a few kits done, maybe once I've got the current round, i.e. the car, the P51D and the 109A done, I might spend a bit of time on this and maybe some time on our ship, being the Warspite, which I'd rather like to get into because that's a big project. That is. Thanks, guys. Now, next, let's see, what's the time? I've got a little bit of time at my disposal still. Now, chassis black, hey? Now, we're going to need that. How to do this? Oh, that's not so hard. In fact, if I just use a rough brush, I'll be right. Yeah. All right. Might need to do a bit of tie up on the engine cowling, but we'll see. And then I need to do a bit there. All right, let's mix this up. But yeah, I've also got, what I should do, here we go, here's a plan of attack for the regard, because I've got those, like everybody, like I said, like I'm sure all of us have a few kits we've got sort of on the back burner. What I ought to do, every time I finish a round of kits, what I view as a round of kits would be, for example, car, 2 planes, boom. I should do a bit of time on finishing old kits. Not that they have to be completed, just do a bit of work on them. And the ship. Just as a change of pace, then start a new round if you follow me. Alrighty, let's do this. Because I do have some very cool stuff. Finishing off that Staghound I was telling you about, I actually built the engine for it and an interior. It says I got distracted by other shit. Now, I can be easily distracted when it comes to modeling. Now, what we'll do, you want a very small but still very rough brush. And what I mean by rough is one that I don't mind copping a hammering, because it's going to need to get into here. And along there. All right, let's do this, peeps. That's better. It's a small thing that will cause me a few more tidy ups, but make it for a better look overall. Because engine bays are not that clear. And I don't mind if it's a bit grungy around there. If I need to do tidy ups there, that's fine. My premise being that, well, hey, there's probably going to be a bit of grunge there anyway. I'm going to do light weathering. That with a touch will facilitate anything I need to achieve there. Oops, that's a little vigorous. Never mind. Oops. Although some of that oops sort of stuff will work well on the weathering front once you do a tidy up underneath that. So, you know, I don't think some of those whoops moments are actually as bad as I think. That's better. There we are. That's looking better for that already. Much better, in fact. Now, you just all right. Right, so what we did there, a little bit more there actually, maybe. Is now I need to get the hang on, give me a moment, guys. Where is here is so what I've done there, I still need to do a little bit more. Give me a moment, and then I'll give you the look. Just bear with me. I know it's a bit the zoom is in close at the moment. I'm aware of that. Actually, that's going to work well. All right. So what we've done there is the engine bay underneath the engine. And happily, we haven't made too much of a mess of our engine. Or our aircraft in general. So yeah. Now what we'll do, zoom out. Oh, you're off, Ronald. See you later. Thanks for popping past. Now, speed up here. Right. Almost. All righty. Oh, now she's starting to come together, guys. Now I'm starting to feel very chipper with it. All right. Now, clean brush. Was there anything else I was going to do? Chassis black? No. Now then, good people, what we shall do is, I'm going to clean this, finish cleaning this. And then what we're going to do is go hunting for guns to go on our Messerschmitt. Now, mouthful of coffee. Now, let's see what we have in here. What's in this bag? These are mostly Lancaster parts, a T-34 engine. No. What do we have in here? Oh, these are car parts. No. Hang on, what's that? No. have in here? Now this looks potentially more interesting. Bombay stuff. No. And in here, no. Oh, what's that? Oh, that's a wheel stem. Interestingly, from a 109, I would suggest by the looks of it. But no, nothing in that bag. What's in here? So, if there's anything, like lots of propellers. Wonder if propellers I'd be home and hosed. Nothing that looks like guns. Rubbin. Inconvenient. Let's see what else we have. Starting to get down to desperate needs. Now I'm genuinely surprised that I don't have at least something that would resemble a pair of cannons, like a pair of guns. Hang on, let's have a bit more of a stretching out of this one. I know where I should look. And they are not conveniently on hand, unfortunately. Okay, but hello. What are they? Do I care what they are as long as they look feasible as guns? What's the length of them? Oh, maybe. Give me a moment. I might have found what we can use. If I'm correct, I'll give you a zoom in. So if they were to go, oh, kids, we are indeed. We're lucky. Yep. But then there needs to be a bracket. Part of that. Let me just check that length again. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Okay, what we have here. Hope to hell I don't lose them. Give you a zoom in a minute. Aha! This is where one of these could come into their own. Yep, all right. Now, when it comes to making the guns, which we're not going to do today. Oh, hey, Stephen, how are you doing? I will show you what we're going to do, however, and we'll do that as part of tomorrow. Once I show you the plan, I will probably wind the stream up. But there's a couple of things I'll actually do for tomorrow that are a bit different. Aside from obviously making the guns, that's a bit different, I guess. I forgot to do the bloody chassis. I was going to do German grey on that. That doesn't matter. And some other painting. What I might even do is bring in my Tiger tank and my stag hound and show them, so you guys can sort of like see what I've got and what we can do and things like that. It's when I first started out, the person who showed me a lot of the basics of what I've since developed said, do yourself a favor. He said, whenever you build a kit, you're going to find there's leftover bits because there's a whole range of reasons for that. He said, don't throw them out. You'll be amazed how useful they are. Got that right. Now, what I'm looking at as the guns, and I don't know if they actually are guns, but they look good enough to the naked eye for me. Bearing in mind my eyesight's rat shit. These. Well, that's them right there. They're going to be our guns, which we will affix to a bracket, because there is a bracket on them, which we'll make out of a portion of one of these. These are actually the things that hold the bombs on Lancasters, but we'll trim out a bit of that to hold the two guns together, which will in turn go, once we've done that, all the rest of it, they'll need to go right about, right on the actual engine block, just above it, such that we can position our engine cowlings in the upwards position, which will hold up with some struts so that when it's landed, we can have the things up like it's for so that when we've got our aircraft there, we'll have our cowlings up to show off the engine like it was ready to be serviced. That is the idea. All right. And that is me done for today, kids. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. First-time viewers, you know what I'm about to suggest. It's follow, like, or subscribe time. If you haven't already. If you haven't, really, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, other platforms. If you want to track me down on other platforms, I'm Rob the Builder on Facebook and YouTube, and Robster the Builder on Instagram and Twitch. And again, we follow, like, or subscribe, or at least that's what I'm going to suggest to you. Glad you enjoyed it, Bassman. I am indeed going to be back tomorrow, and it's entirely possible I'll actually be on Saturday. The weather on Friday and indeed Saturday is predicted to be what we bald men call 4 shades of shitful. I think tomorrow there's up to 30 mil of rain, and something not too far removed from that on the Saturday. I'm not entirely convinced fishing's going to be happening. Particularly as cold and wet does affect a medical condition my mate's got at the moment, so don't see that happening. So, which means I'll be on. But yes, I'll be on tomorrow. We'll be doing more work on the 109A. What I want to get done with that now is to get that to the same stage we were at with the P51. And after that, we'll get back to the car for a bit. And I'm actually thinking, because we're actually at a really good point with all our kits, where we can really start getting it all happening. I was at the quickly I'll share this one with you. I was at the supermarket the other day, and they still sell hot water bottles. I was kind of surprised, actually, to be honest. Anyway, and I couldn't help but tell the lad at the checkout a very old joke that you may or may not know, involving a hot water bottle and a bottle of olives. And basically cuts down to his lordship is ordering a butler around. Doesn't matter who his lordship is, but a lord is ordering his butler around while he's having a bath. You know, Jeeves, give me this, Jeeves, give me that. At one stage, his lordship lets rip in the water. And Jeeves walks in with a hot water bottle and a bottle of olives. Jeeves, what are you doing, old man? That's funny, sir. I could have sworn he said, "Oh, got a bottle and a bottle of olives." Yeah, it's a bit of an old one, but anyway, as I said, that is me done. I will indeed be back tomorrow. Like I said, we're hitting the 109, and I think we're actually doing really good progress in general. So yeah, and one of the things that we can actually look at to some extent tomorrow would be, I'm bringing the Tiger tank in and the Staghound in. We can have a bit of look at stuff we can maybe do once we finish those kits and have a bit of a diversion for a little while. Maybe spend a week just doing diversionary side projects, then get back to the main games of Mustang 109 cars. Do that for a while. Alrighty. Thanks again for watching. At the end of the day, all that's really left for me to say is that I'm going to be back tomorrow at a similar kit time and on the same kit channel. And my pleasure, David, and hopefully I'll catch all you good people tomorrow. See yous.